a surprise visitor, a sick Sooner, and a parade of festive proportions. I'm Blake Jackson, and you'll find all that and more in the Zona today. Oklahoma offensive stars gathered for an early morning press conference on Saturday. Among them, Alan Patrick, who's coming off consecutive strong performances to end the regular season.
We just know we got to face, and we know what they're going to bring to the table. So I think it's going to be a very, pretty much the same way, we faced against Tulsa. We're going to come out there and approach the game pretty much the same way I think.
With DeMarco Murray sidelined for the Fiesta Bowl, Patrick figures to be the Sooners' primary weapon at tailback. It's a role he almost filled nearly a year ago before the reemergence of Adrian Peterson against Boise State.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker, just to come out here and be the first of my bowl appearance out here at the Fiesta Bowl and get a loss, at the end, at a few overtimes, just for the game to wind down and be that close, that's a hurtful feeling.
Meanwhile, the Sooners' top pass rusher, Austin English, missed his third consecutive practice with symptoms of the flu.
He's close. He's better. We just felt it'd be better to get him strengthened up and eaten, but he'll be fine. Those guys will be all right.
You said his ankle's okay, right?
Oh, yeah. Just got a little bit of the flu, yeah.
I'm Barry Tramel with the Oklahoman. This morning over at the Camelback Inn, we had the Fiesta Bowl press conference, the first of several, previewing the Oklahoma-West Virginia game. A few observations. Phil Oldholt came in for the Sooners. Phil is one of the biggest men I've ever seen. He's not the biggest. Sam Bradford was asked today, is Phil Oldholt the biggest man you've ever seen? And Sam answered quickly, yes. Sam said he used to think Duke Robinson was big. Then he saw Duke Robinson and Phil Oldholt standing next to each other and said, wow. Phil Oldholt, 6'8", 352, a large man. He's not the biggest man I've ever seen. I've actually stood next to Yao Ming. But Phil Oldholt is an impressive physical specimen. Another thing that I already knew, but I certainly appreciated again, the wonderful accent of South Carolinian Alan Patrick. I love to hear that Tidewater accent of Alan Patrick. He talks in a cool cadence. I like what he has to say also. He spilled the beans about Bob Stoops' dismay at seeing the ESPN crawler continually refer to Oklahoma's 0-3 record in their last three BCS games. What else did I learn? I learned that Sammy B, Mr. Bradford, conducts himself very well in front of the media. He's going to be a media star eventually. He's been sheltered quite a bit, hasn't really been put out on the pedestal the way most quarterbacks are. But eventually Sam Bradford will be out front and center, and Oklahoma will have more than just a quarterback star, they will have a media star. That's our first impression of the press conference. More to come tomorrow. I hope the Sooners play out as good in tomorrow's press conference as they did today, because Mr. Oldholt, Malcolm Kelly, Alan Patrick, and Sam Bradford certainly acquitted themselves very well.
The Oklahoma State Cowboys entertained a surprise visitor at practice on Saturday, albeit a familiar face. Former offensive coordinator Larry Fedora took a few days off from his new job at Southern Miss to visit the Cowboys in the Sun Valley. He plans to attend the Insight Bowl as an OSU fan on Monday. OSU players also entertained Phoenix area youth at a kids' football clinic near their practice facility at Corona Del High School in Tempe.
And it's very important. We have a lot of guys on this team with big hearts, and they really enjoy doing that. And a lot of them do it on their own in their own time, and people don't even know about it. They don't brag about anything. It's just how a lot of these guys are, and it's something that we take pride in having guys like that. High class guys.
Today's guest, Sean Scheffler, VP for Media Relations with the Fiesta Bowl. Sean, I got 3 quick questions for you. Are they really going to sell out the Insight Bowl? And if so, what does that mean for the future of that bowl game?
Well, right now, the Sun Devil Stadium holds 73,500 seats, and we seal off the north end zone. So our goal is to sell out 56,000. We're going to increase that every year. And what we're trying to do with that game is obviously we run the Fiesta Bowl, and it's a BCS bowl, and we're sold out every year. I think we've sold out 22 of the last 23 years. And the Inside Bowl's a game that we're trying to grow. And with Oklahoma State and Indiana, they're both great stories. They're both going to travel really well. We feel very good about the fact that we'll sell out 56,000. Next year we'll try to get to 60, and then after that 64, and just increase it every year.
I saw a picture with some of the seats covered in the upper deck. Is that part of how you do it?
It is. I mean, we started the game at Chase Field, where the Arizona Diamondbacks play, and our capacity there was about 45,000. And we felt, it's time that when we partnered up with the Big 12 and Big 10 conferences, we wanted to make it a football game and really try to increase it and grow it. So moving into Sun Devil Stadium, we knew that trying to get 73.5 would be tough right out of the gate. So our goal is to get 56,000 and grow it each year.
Okay. Question number 2. How is the atmosphere here different this year from last year when you hosted both the Fiesta Bowl and the Big Bowl, the BCS National Championship?
I think when you have a championship game nationally, it's a big deal because everyone now knows that there will be a championship site where, I think that's one good thing about the BCS is that people now know in advance where the game will be. The difference for us here is that locally everyone knows that Tostitos Fiesta Bowl is always a great game. We always get great matchups. Obviously last year with Oklahoma and Boise State, there was a lot more focus. I mean, candidly, there was a lot more focus on the Ohio State-Florida game, and we know which game ended up being the better game when you talk about, from start to finish. So locally everyone's excited about it. It's something that we're expecting a great game. I know West Virginia thought they'd be in the championship game, and Oklahoma probably thought they should be too. But we think it should be a great game on January 2nd.
All right, question number 3. Obviously, this is Oklahoma's second straight year to appear in the Fiesta Bowl. What are the pros and cons of a team being in the same bowl 2 years in a row?
I think the pros is the fact that Oklahoma is, a national power. It's a school that everybody knows. Their history is unbelievable. Unbelievable players, great tradition, great history. Coach Stoops is one of the best in the country. And in terms of cons, I think any bowl would say that you don't want to get the same team 2 years in a row. But when you talk about a school like Oklahoma, and knowing how many fans that'll be here, and the excitement level, and the national interest in the game, the pros far outweigh the cons in that situation.
All right, thanks, Sean. Again, it's 3 questions with Sean Scheffler, VP for Media Relations for the Fiesta Bowl. To the parade, the Fiesta Bowl parade?
Seeing all the floats and the bands.
Who do you think is going to win the Fiesta Bowl?
Who's playing in the Fiesta Bowl?
West Virginia and Oklahoma.
Oklahoma!
Why is that?
Because our dad was there.
And West Virginia. Who do you think is going to win that game?
West Virginia.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just have a feeling.
You just have a feeling? Okay. In the other bowl, it's Oklahoma State and Indiana. Who do you think is going to win that game?
Indiana.
Indiana?
Yep.
Why is that?
I don't know, because I just have that feeling that Indiana's going to win. I think West Virginia because they're a better player.
Who do you think is going to win the Oklahoma-West Virginia game?
Oh, Switzerland.
Why is that? That's what's happening in the Zona today. Stay up to date with the Oklahoman's comprehensive coverage of the Fiesta and Insight Bowls by clicking on newsok.com. I'm Blake Jackson with the Oklahoman, where sports is our turf.